All right, everyone, we are live.
Okay, I'd like to call a special meeting of the Board of Ed to order. It's June 23rd at 5:06, and we have a quorum. This evening, we have two items on the agenda. First item is discussion and vote on the 2022-23 contracts for central office unaffiliated staff, Director of Finance and Operations, Director of Pupil Personnel Services, Director of Digital Learning and Technology, Director of Facilities and the Human Resources Manager. And the second item is discussion and vote on the Assistant Superintendent search. So first item on the agenda, I don't know, Lisa, we have, let's go through the contracts.
Yes. Okay, so we have 2, 3, 4, 5 contracts. With which one would you like to start with?
Let's do it in the order of the motion.
Okay, so Director of
Finance.
Director of Finance and Operations. I'm not really sure how specific you want me to be about it. Read from it. This is the proposed contract for Mr. Cross.
Yeah, length of contract, 2 years, salary, and then the percentage increase and any adjustments. That's really all we need to go through.
Okay, so the contract length is 2 years. The base salary is $190,000. That represents a 2.25 increase, which is aligned with the administrators union. And there also is an adjustment as well in the compensation package.
Okay. So basically the 190,000 base salaries, it represents a 2.25 increase and approximately $3,100 market adjustment. Okay.
That's correct, for a total overall adjustment of a 4.2%.
Okay. Before we have a motion to vote on the contract, any questions or comments by the board?
Helpful to explain a market adjustment for people who might not know what the market adjustment means.
So the market adjustment is to align Mr. Cross's salary with compensation that is in comparable districts. And so that is what I am proposing, that he does have a market adjustment. I believe that Mr. Cross has done he's a terrific job this year. He is a consummate professional, looking through every purchase through the academic return on investment, which I think is very important. He is in charge of both finance and operations. You should know that there is a position in the budget that has not been filled, and he has been doing what I would say double duty with doing that position as well. It's a assistant to him, quite frankly, in finance. He, you know, as far as the budget process and everything, and helping me put together a really, I think, appropriate budget for the district and his management of funds, all of the work that he has done with the facilities optimization committee. He's been asked to produce a lot of things that I believe this is warranted.
Yeah. Well, you know, just personally as chair of the Finance and Facilities Committee, and also working with Phil with the other town boards, it's actually been a pleasure working with Phil over the last couple of years. And that's the feedback, and importantly, the feedback I'm getting from the other town boards. And I think that of all the positions, you know, Phil's position in terms of how he needs to interact with the other town boards is pretty critical for the district. So with that, can I have a motion?
Move that the Weston Board of Education approve the contract term with Mr. Philip Cross, the Director of Finance and Operations, for a new period of 2 years, July 1, 2022 through June 30th, 2024. Establish base salary of $190,000, representing a 2.25% increase to Mr. Cross's current base salary, and market adjustment in the amount of $3,104.26. Authorize the chairperson to negotiate and execute a revised contract with the Director of Finance and Operations incorporating these changes.
Can I have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Bernadette.
Aye, Taffy.
Hi, Melissa.
David?
Peter.
Aye, Tony. All opposed? Okay, motion passes. Thank you, Phil, for your service and your continued service.
Everyone.
All right, next.
Next is the Director of People Personnel Services, Tracy Edwards. And she also has a 2-year contract. The compensation, the base salary for this position is $188,042.40. That represents the 2.25 increase, as well as a market adjustment. So the overall percentage increase is at a 6.61%. I want to say a few words about this proposed contract. Ms. Edwards has my full confidence in this position as the Director of Pupil Personnel Services and overseeing said, and I wholeheartedly support her. We have worked extremely closely this year, meeting on a daily basis, talking about providing the best services that we can for our students pre-K-12. I would like to add that, sometimes it is challenging to make sure that you have the right people on the Weston bus. We have to be very deliberate with that and looking at who is working in this area, because this is a very important area, provides services to some of our most vulnerable students. We have collaborated together all year, and I support this contract.
Any other comments, questions?
Just one quick question. Lisa, what do you attribute some of the turnover in sped?
Thank you for asking, because I would like to clarify a little bit. And of course, these are, people and they're employees, former employees, and they have certain, obviously rights to privacy. I will tell you that overall, we have seen turnover across the district, and there has been turnover in special education and pupil services. And I will say for each person that has chosen whether to resign, take another position, there are, each situation is different and unique. We have had situations where people in administration have chosen, due to personal family issues, to step down. I think that everyone is in agreement that not only COVID, but when you look at family, what's best for your family, the distance you are from your family, and sort of your holistic family life, I can honestly speak that say that there are people that have chosen not only to leave the district, also to have a different role in the district. And continue in the district based on what I would say those personal family situations. And then the same thing is when, when someone leaves, you need to bring in the best qualified interim people that we must have. We are very fortunate this year to have worked closely with 2 interim people that came in to sort of fill the gaps, if you will. And that's important. And so, they come in and then someone else comes in and takes over. And then finally, I will say that I am relentless in the expectation that the staff meet a certain standard, I guess I would say, for the district and for our students. And sometimes it's just not a good fit. And as I said, these are some of our most vulnerable students. And so if we need to make some adjustments, we need to be very deliberate in looking at things, then we're going to do it. And so that kind of attests for not only the administration, but also when you look at teachers, for example, paraprofessionals, and reasons that people choose to leave. We can't compete with someone when they're offered a job, quite frankly, to work from home full time, and that does and has happened. So I am, as I said, very confident that we are spending the time to make sure that we get the right people in the right positions and to move forward with that.
Lisa.
Great. Any other questions or comments before we vote on the contract? Tracy, when you came through the door and joined the district 2 years ago, you had a long list of things that you wanted to accomplish. I think COVID just added more to that list, and you've been relentless in terms of working through that. And we have every confidence that you're going to continue doing a great job in that role. With that,
I'd like to pile on here, if I may, and just say, Tracy, you've done an extraordinary job under extraordinary circumstances, and we couldn't be more lucky to have you.
Can I have a motion?
I'd like to make this motion. I move that the Western Board of Education approve the contract term of Ms. Tracy Edwards, the Director of Pupil Personnel Services, for a new period of 2 years, July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2024, an established base salary of $188,042.40, representing a 2.25% increase to Ms. Edwards' current base salary, plus a market adjustment in the amount of $7,251.62, and authorize the chairperson to negotiate and execute a revised contract with the Director of Pupil Personnel Services incorporating these changes.
Have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye, Taffy.
Aye, Sharon.
Hi, Bernadette.
Hi, Melissa.
Hi, David.
Peter.
Hi, Tony. All opposed? Okay, motion passes. Thank you, Tracy, for all you do for the district.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay. All right.
So moving on to the Director of Digital Learning and Technology, Mr. Dan DeVito. His also is the 2-year contract, and with a base salary of $167,000, sorry, Dan, $281 for the 22-23 school year. That represents a 2.25% increase in line with the administrators, or $3,681. I just would like to add, Dan, I think that, under your leadership, we are really making progress with data analytics and being able to analyze and help staff be able to analyze, synthesize information, and then apply that to their instruction. Dan is the job of, you have the IT and then you have the ET. You have the infrastructure and you have the educational technology. And quite frankly, I don't know what I'd do without him. I appreciate his patience also in explaining to me some of the data analytics and his commitment to both IT and ET. And also he has been instrumental and has spent a significant time doing electronic searches with FOIA, which wasn't necessarily on his radar when he first came here. So I do want to acknowledge all of the effort and time he has put in that area.
Okay, any questions, comments? Dan, all I can say, great job. I mean, your passion for what you do and your dedication to the district is, you know, words can't describe it, but just a great job, and thank you.
I'll agree with that. You're a data nerd, so the more data Lisa throws at you, the happier you are. We're gonna give you a raise with more data as well.
No. Can I have a motion?
I move that the Weston Board of Education approve the contract term of Mr. Daniel DeVito, the Director of Digital Learning and Technology, for a new period of 2 years, July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2024. Establish base salary of $167,281, representing a 2.25% increase to Mr. current base salary, and also chairperson to negotiate and execute a revised contract with the Director of Digital Learning and Technology, incorporating these changes.
Have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Hi, Taffy.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Bernadette.
Hi, Melissa.
Hi, David.
Hi, Peter.
Hi, Tony. All opposed? Okay, motion passes.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Now we're on the Director of Facilities. The Director of Facilities, Mike Del Mastro. The proposed contract is a 2-year contract with the base annual salary compensation of $138,498.22, which represents, again, a 2.25% increase to his salary, or $3,047.64 increase. You know, I so appreciate Mr. Del Mastro and all he does for the district. It's a lot on the daily operations, making sure that, you know, he works with the custodians, the security, all of the maintenance, grounds under the direction of Dr. Craw. He's always available. He's the one, full disclosure, that is up and calls me at 4:30 in the morning when we talk about snow days. And he's also been terrific in all the capital projects and planning the capital budget. I thank him also for his hard work.
Any comments, questions?
I have something to say. Like David is a data junkie. I'm sort of an HVAC, indoor environmental quality junkie. So I've been happy to be on the finance and operations and facilities committee. And I think Mike's position to do the work that has to get done. And I think the future work that's envisioned for the school district facility. So I'm confident moving forward, being an HVAC junkie myself.
Yeah. No, I, you know, it's a pleasure working with Mike, knowing, you know, Mike just exudes the confidence that, you know, he's on top of everything, and that, you know, from a board's perspective, that's just a good feeling to have. My question with, you know, around, you know, when we talked about Mike's performance is like, who actually does this when he's not here and goes on vacation? So,
Our lead maintenance person helps pitch in with Phil. Thank you, Mr. Gunch.
No, thank you, Mike. Job well done. Can I have a motion?
Weston Board of Education approve the contract term of Michael DeMastro, the Director of Facilities, for a new period of 2 years, July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2024. Establish base salary of $138,498.22, representing a 2.25% increase to Mr. Del Mastro's current base salary, and authorize the chairperson to negotiate and execute a revised contract with the Director of Facilities, incorporating these changes.
Have a second?
I second.
Thanks, Perny. All in favor?
Hi,
Hi,
Sharon.
Taffy.
Hi, Bernadette.
Hi, Melissa.
Hi, David.
Peter.
Hi, Tony. All opposed? Okay, motion passes. Thank you, Mike.
Okay, and last but certainly not least, Human Resources Manager. So the, for Theresa Cavanaugh. Theresa Cavanaugh's contract is also a 2-year contract. The base annual salary is $109,407.50, which again represents a 2.25% increase, or $2,407.50. Terry is just finishing her first year here with us, and I have to say that she has really exceeded my expectations in her role here. I appreciate so much her ability to work with staff. Many of you may not be aware, she does also have a counseling degree, which I think helps in sort of the working with staff and really meeting their needs and being their advocate. She was a tremendous help for the recruitment and hiring of the not only the new principal, but many of the teachers, paras, a real hands-on approach going over everything, making sure that people feel, appreciated, that they understand, that we follow the contracts. I've been at so many different meetings and interviews with her over the course of the past year, and I really want to thank her for her service. Before she came, we were a little bit in limbo, and when you're in limbo with something like HR, you kind of inherit a little bit of a mess, should I say? And slowly she's been putting some semblance of order around that, and we are really in a much better place. So thank you, Terry.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's nice to have an experienced human resources professional in that role. It was vacant for much too long. Thank you. Any other comments, questions? Okay, can I have a motion?
I move that the Weston Board of Education approve the contract term of Ms. Theresa Cavanaugh, Human Resources Manager, for a new period of 2 years, July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2024, with an established base salary of $109,407.50, representing a 2.25 increase to Ms. Cavanaugh's current base salary, and authorize the chairperson to negotiate and execute a revised contract with the Human Resources Manager incorporating these changes.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Hi, Taffy.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Bernadette.
Hi, Melissa.
Hi, David.
Hi, Peter.
Hi, Tony. All opposed? Okay, motion passes. Thank you, Terry.
Thank you.
So I need to get revised contracts so I could sign them. And
Sure.
then we need to post them. I don't know, and maybe this is a question for Lisa and Terry. We have updated job descriptions also that need to go into the same public area, but I think we probably need to do that as well.
Well, we can certainly get the contracts ready.
Let's get the contracts done first, but I also,
Okay.
during
Yes.
the course of the summer, I just want to make sure that we also have the appropriate job descriptions as well, because, from time to time we're asked for them, or people ask where to look for them. And we just need to post them as well.
Okay.
All right.
We'll have the contracts ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I need to, what I usually do, I'll just get them, I sign them and scan the signature page back. Yeah. If that's fine to do. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I think that's it for the contracts. Want to thank all the administrators for your hard work, and definitely look forward to working with you in the summer. Plan for the next year. as well. So thank you, everyone. Next item on the agenda is search for the assistant superintendent. Now that Ken has given notice that he's moving on, we need to start the search process. So Lisa, what are your thoughts on that?
So my thoughts on that for this particular position are to use a search consultant, I guess, if you would help us with this search. The group it's CES, Cooperative Educational Systems. Terry and I had a preliminary conversation with the gentleman that oversees that, the superintendent there, Charles Dumais. CES is, it's not for profit. It's a service that is provided, which means that A, I think the rates are very reasonable. B, you can kind of tell them specifically in what areas you need their support in, reviewing job descriptions, advertising, collecting resumes, things like that. And so I do think that it is, money well spent, quite frankly, to be able to have their support in that, because, I'm really excited about this opportunity, and we wish Dr. Carl well as superintendent of New Fairfield. I know he's going to be amazing as the superintendent, long overdue. This role, though, it hasn't been open in how many years? 10 years? Quite a long time. And so it's a critical role in the district. And not only the role, but also the responsibilities of the role. And I've been thinking about them a lot. And to go through and look, for example, if you have an assistant superintendent, what would that encompass? His position was assistant superintendent of curriculum and instruction. Clearly, curriculum and instruction need to be a part of this position, but I am also thinking of other things that I think are very important to consider, to perhaps put under that umbrella. And we can have further discussion on that, conversations on that. So those are my initial thoughts in having to, in moving forward. I do think that we should, review. I want to review and work on the job description, on the responsibilities specifically. We could, going through this process, have someone in place for the beginning of the school year. However, I will say this: if we cannot find the best person for the position, someone that understands data analytics, someone that is committed to moving this district forward in a variety of ways, but especially in curriculum, instruction, assessment, student progress, monitoring that, and there's a certain level of accountability that we need to have. I will not fill the position unless I think that it is the best person for Weston.
Yeah. So
Lisa, sorry. Okay, sorry.
No, go ahead, Kat.
No, thank you. I was just going to ask, I think that's the right attitude, absolutely. And I just wondered whether, if this is the meeting, at least to plant the seed, asking the question, what is the sort of plan? There's a split screen here, right? One screen is the recruitment and hiring of an excellent candidate. And the other screen, of course, is if we can't find that candidate, what's the plan we put in place to, fill in where he left off in the short term?
I'm very confident that we will be good for this summer and for the beginning of the school year. Dr. Crow and I met several times as part of the transition. He left me copious notes. I know what has to be done, quite frankly. I know where we need to go. I know how we can plan this. And, I think that we're in a really good place. Curriculum instruction is also a passion of mine, quite frankly. And I think that, I'm very comfortable with where we are going to be. And if we have to go to a different plan, then we will figure it out. We have tremendous professional capacity here in the district, and given the type of responsibilities this person is going to have, we must get the right person. And as David Felton often says, we need to be deliberate. And I agree with you, David. We need to be very deliberate in this, in moving forward in this position. And, you know, if we're moving forward and any sense of that something doesn't feel right or look right, then we put the brakes on and we reevaluate. You know, I'm confident we'll be fine. I know we will be. That's my expectation of all the people working here, and that's the expectation I have for myself. You know.
Thank you, Lisa. Thanks.
Yeah, Lisa, a couple of just housekeeping things.
Sure.
Now, you know, and I guess this is for Phil. Do we need to bid this out? Because I was involved in the superintendent search and negotiating the contract, and we had 3 bidders, and we picked one. Do we necessarily have to bid this out?
We do not, Tony.
Okay. And you know, one of the firms that we negotiated with was CES, and they're in the space, not only on a state level but on a national level as well. And you know, if we didn't go with the search firm we did, this was CES was the one that was the backup, but not necessarily because there was anything wrong with CES, but because we thought that the other firm that we used was much better positioned for the superintendent search that we wanted to do. But CES is definitely, you know, highly qualified to present, I think, a large slate of candidates from which we'll pick from. The second is, do you anticipate having a search committee with, you know, representatives from, you know, like we do for other, you know, senior leadership positions where we have representatives from the board as well as from the unions and so forth?
Yes, we're working on, Terry and I are working on putting together kind of, yes, we have to have a search committee. We have to have, you know, not just one round of interviews. I also want to provide opportunities for community stakeholders to give feedback. You know, we did that at the high school level. We sent out a survey to both parents, students, and staff asking, and I think that voice is also important to make sure that people. I've already gotten a couple of emails about what people are thinking. I think that's an important step. So we will do that as well.
Yeah, and I know CES, you know, as part of their process, they also guide us through those kinds of things as well in the search process, which is getting the community voice, having you know, whatever workshops we need to have to you know, or surveys that we need to have to actually solicit those voices and so forth. So yeah, if we go with them, I think we're in good hands. Just from my experience as well, working with them. So the work tonight is really to discuss and vote on the search. If you're confident at this point hiring CES, that's fine. And if we don't need to go through a bidding process, that's great. The other thing is that what do you anticipate the costs to be?
You know, again, it's what we, in working with Mr. Dumais, who I've known, there's some wiggle room, I guess, within the cost. The upper side of it is $10,000.
Right.
I think, you know, it will probably come in between 5 and 10. I'm certainly not going to abdicate all the responsibility to them. I want to work in partnership with them because it's that important. So if you guys could, you know, give me, I guess, the authority to proceed with that, with something with, you know, up to 10,000, I think that would be appropriate.
Yeah. So the way this works is you have the authority to proceed. You'll get, you know, you'll have the authority to sign the contract, but then when everything is done, we will have a public meeting on the process that's going to be taken
Sure,
to search
sure,
for an
yeah,
assistant superintendent. So this is not just, vote on this and then an assistant superintendent will appear in a couple of months. That's not the way it works. The way it works is the next meeting after all of this, we will have a meeting on, the details of the process that we're going to go through to find the next assistant superintendent.
Mhm. I believe the original language we put in was up to 15,000, which I think is a little bit high. I would be comfortable with 10. I'm certainly very cognizant of the fact of spending the funds, quite frankly. So, and Chip thought that it would be about, with everything would be about 10.
So, I mean, if it's going to be 10, let's use 10.
I think that's fine.
Okay, so we should amend that language.
Jody's on it.
Sorry. Can I ask a question about CES? So
Sure.
I've worked with CES on behalf of the district. I know Chuck as much as I know him. I think they're a phenomenal organization. But I also read that CES was the search firm that ultimately placed Ken where he at Fairfield. So my question is, in the agreement with CES, if we use them and they find a candidate and then we bring that candidate on, is there some guarantee that they're not going to go back and hire that candidate away from us for some period of time, 3 years, 5 years?
Yes, there is. There should be. And there's also, we also asked them, and I don't know. I mean, one of the things we should also ask them is which school, which areas are off base for them, because it goes both ways. If they can't take from us, they also can't take from some others, and we should know that as well.
Right, and that was going to be my second part of, so if which I would expect, right, that we, in our agreement, they would agree that if they find a candidate for us, they don't turn around and try and hire that candidate away from us for a minimum of 3 years, 5 years.
Well, yeah, I guess there's a certain period of time.
Right.
Yeah.
But then conversely, do they have the bandwidth to look in the areas that we want to look, or have they placed all of these assistant superintendents, in which case, so I think before we agree, we should know what their capabilities are beyond, as an organization, they're phenomenal, but if they can't touch 80% of the people in the area that we're looking, that could be a problem.
You're going to find, I don't know, you're going to find everyone in the areas is going to have the same level of conflicts or not, right? I don't know how you get away from that, especially now that the average, I don't know what it was, but the average tenure of a superintendent and assistant superintendent in Fairfield County is actually pretty short. So there's a lot of movement. There's a lot of movement in those seats.
From what we're voting on, we're simply voting on the authorization or like CES, the criteria that we're looking for. That's not what this is about. No,
but I think that we should just, when Lisa and Terry actually work with CES, ask these questions, find out where, if they're blocked from any significant place that that we would like them to be looking at, and or not.
I've made notes on that, and we will certainly have a follow-up conversations, multiple conversations, to ensure again that they are able to.
I have no doubt we're going to get a very large slate of potential.
Oh yeah, I mean this is an unbelievable opportunity for someone. Strong district, very supportive community. I anticipate that there will be great interest in this position.
What did we get for principal? We got 30 applications.
Terry?
30, 28.
30.
Yeah.
I suspect that this one will have a lot more.
Yeah.
Terry, do you have anything else that you might want to add that because you were in the call with Mr. Dumais?
Yeah, as far as the non-compete, to address David's concerns, I mean, some of the non-competes may also be position specific. So we may not, we may not be pulling a superintendent from a school or assistant superintendent from a school. We may be pulling a director of instruction or someone who is looking to rise to that level. So it may not cut out all of the assistant superintendents in this neighborhood or in Fairfield County. We may be looking at a really strong person who is looking to rise to that assistant superintendent level as well. So it may not cut out as many as we think, but you're right. We would definitely ask Charles Dumais that question going forward, as well as the question of a guarantee. How long is our guarantee that you won't kind of turn around? That's absolutely standard in those contracts.
Lisa, can I ask another question? Do you want to make any comment about internal candidates?
What I always say is internal candidates can certainly apply. Right now, there are people that have a 92. There are people that have a 93, which are the certifications for assistant superintendent and superintendent. And so internal candidates, if they wish, are welcome to apply.
I mean, the reason I raise that obviously is that, I'm a big fan of obviously right person, right seat. Do they get it? Do they want it? Do they have the capacity to do it? If that exists from within, we have an extraordinary group of leaders, SILs, long tenured educators here. And, I just think it's important for us to keep our eye on that as well for this opportunity.
Yes, that is correct. But I would add, for a SIL who is in a non-evaluative position to jump to this position would be a bit challenging. But there are administrators in this district that are welcome to apply.
Yeah, we're getting
Thank you.
a little bit away from the agenda item. So, I mean, this is a great topic for probably the next time we get together and talk about the process. Let's just try to just get the ball rolling with approving that Lisa and Terry then can go ahead and start with the contractual work of just getting started. And then we can come back together and talk about kind of how the process is going to work. Can I have a motion?
That the Weston Board of Education hire CES to conduct the search for the new assistant superintendent at a cost of up to, do we decide 15,000?
No.
Or are we modifying it to 10?
10.
To $10,000.
Can I have a second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye, Taffy.
Aye, Sharon.
Hi, Bernadette.
Hi, David.
Aye, Tony. All opposed? Okay, motion passes. And I think if there's no other business. That's it for this evening. Thanks for getting this done. I think, it's one less thing we have to do now this summer. But there's still a few more things that we have to get done during the course of the summer, and looking forward to working through that list through January, July, and August. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Good night. Thank you.
Goodbye.